Oh. Guess I should do this. All right. So we are here today. We are talking about, well, actually two things. Good friend George from over in the UK actually is starting to collect 88 Films Italian Classic Collection, Italian collection. So we're going to look at my Italian collection, the ones that I got here. We're also going to be looking at a top six pick for Criterion out of my collection. I'm also going to be looking onto the Criterion website and the 88 Films website, and we're going to talk about other films in the collection that I don't have, and some that I want that are strong, like check marks on my list that I want to do. This is different. This is a morning video. Hey, Scotter, just saw you recently. This is a morning video. I haven't done one of these in quite a while, actually, I don't think. Normally my videos are done later in the evening or later in the day, and I think that is the result. Hey, Charles. Basically, that's why I have such a large, I think, like UK base to watching my videos, because actually the time that I actually usually program these things, which kind of accidentally, per happenstance. All right, so do you guys want to talk the 88 Films Italian collection first? Or would you like to start off with the Criterion? I know a lot of people want to talk Criterion now because basically the sale's going on with Barnes& Noble. It's a huge deal. Hey, welcome. Well, that's perfect timing, right on. So what we're going to do today is, we got two companies to look at. They're very different, but I wanted to get into each of them. I do have to say I did hit the 2,000. Whether it stays at 2,000 or not, thank you guys so much for that, by the way. Isaac, I'm so jealous. I miss FOPs so very much. Actually, I miss going to a video store. Like, I'll be honest with you. I'm in Nova Scotia. I'm in like North Sydney, and there's not much of a place to go to shop. I actually have to go to take a 4-hour drive just to get to a Sunrise Records. Thank you. It's taken a very long time to get to 2,000, but you know, quality over quantity. That's what we say, right? All right. So what I'll do first is I'm gonna go give you my 6 picks for like my 6 top Criterions. I'm not going to go with box sets. I want to go single releases. I know that for some people, with all the sales that have come up, box sets can tend to be kind of expensive. Thank you, Isaac. And maybe like just 1 or 2 good ones. Good morning. Will be like a way to go. So I was originally going to pick 5, but then I want to go 1 more. And I've gone over my Criterion collection like recently, so I just wanted to spotlight these ones in particular, because I think these are ones that deserve like a second talking about. And then we'll go into the 88 film stuff. Well, first I'm going to do my Criterion wants, like basically what I would get if I was able to go from the 2001, right? It's like, it's that epic, like it's that monolith time. I actually looked around for monolith because you never know. It is. I mean, like, it's so much easier right now to shop online. I'm not sure where you live, Charles, but for me, it is a lot easier, because basically I'm in an area where I like shopping in stores, but I can't, because I'm watching all these videos, and there's like these haul videos, and I see people like Logan Toxing, people like that, space that's pretty much going to Barnes and Noble, and I'm super jealous, because I definitely want to be there. All right, number 1 in my Criterion, like single picks that I think everybody should have in their collection. I've mentioned this one before. I've mentioned this one many times, but it is Burt Lancaster and Tony Curtis in The Sweet Smell of Success. Tarkovsky, excellent. Stalker, I gotta get Stalker actually. Sweet Smell of Success is an excellent film. It's the film you didn't know you needed, but you really do. If you're a writer, if you like dialogue. New York is still one of the greatest shopping places in the world, Charles. Like, hands down. One of these days, I want to get to New York. It's what my better half. She went to university in New York, and actually lived there for a while. This is, for me, Jesse, I think this is one of Burt Lancaster's best, if not his best performance. He plays what's his name, J.J. Hunsaker, in this like this gossip columnist, and he really is kind of like the Poison Pen type. We've got like Tony Curtis as this press agent, and there's there's a sister in the middle, and there's going to be a clash. This is a really really good film. The dialogue is so well written, and it just keeps you. It just goes to tell you that you don't need to have some kind of like big action sequence going on in a film to make it like really really keep you on the edge of your seat, like to keep you watching, keep you gripped. Sweet Smell Success is a movie that will definitely 110% keep you gripped, like from like the from beginning to end. This is an excellent film. This is an amazing release of this. Again, there's a ton of features on here. We got a new audio commentary with film scholar James Naramore. I don't think I've listened to that, actually, to be honest with you. McKendrick, The Man Who Walked Away, a 1986 documentary featuring interviews with director Alexander McKendrick. Oh, I Had the Swimmer. It's a fantastic film. That's the first Grindhouse releasing that I ever bought, Jesse. People think, usually when they think me, they'll think like, oh, he must have bought like The Beyond, or he picked up like Pieces or something like that. But no, the first Grindhouse releasing that I ever picked up was The Swimmer, because I am a huge Burt Lancaster fan. Actually, I should do a video sometime on Burt Lancaster, because I really, really love his stuff. There's a James Wong Ho cinematography in 1973 documentary about the director of photography on this film. So there's two great documentaries there right away. New video interview with critic and film historian Neil Gabler, who did Windshield, Gossip, Power, and the Culture of Celebrity. It's a ton of great stuff. New video interview with the filmmaker James Mangold on McKendrick and his instructor and mentor. And of course, there's the booklet in here as well, which is actually, I think, it's a decently sized booklet, as opposed to what you have, very decently sized booklet, as opposed to some of the ones that they do now. You can see it's almost like we're almost getting into like a book-like status when it comes to these, because this is like an Arrow or BFI like level of book status. And if you have never seen Sweet Smell Success, just go into it blind. Right, Lights, Big City. It's a gorgeous film. It has some fantastic stuff on here, and I love it. It's actually one of my favorite films. Next up is one of my favorite De Palma films, and that is Blowout with John Travolta on the water. I still got to get on the waterfront, and yeah, that one is like, I keep picking it up, like, well, putting it in my cart. I keep saying I got to get this movie. I got to get this movie. And something else comes by, and it gets to the top 10 list, and then I go to like, okay, I'm gonna buy couples. I'll go to a top 5 list. It'll make the top 5 list, and for some reason or another, I don't get it. But it's one that I really need to pick up. It's a strong one on my list. I love Sisters, but this one here is like my fave for like of the Criterion. I think it's maybe the only De Palma Criterion release that I got. But one of my favorite De Palmas, anyway, is Blowout. This is one of my favorite covers of any Criterion film. As a guy that definitely wanted to work in the film industry, this is probably one of the most devastating covers you're ever going to see on any film. Basically, John Travolta plays this guy. He's like he's a sound guy, and he's working on a horror film. And they're trying to get the right scream actually for this slasher film that he's doing, because the girl that's acting in the film has this like really weak scream. There's a great opening sequence with it, but he takes he takes sounds. He takes he goes out to different places and records sounds. With John Lithgow is terrifying this film. It was like years before Dexter would come along. John Lithgow was terrifying this film right here, and definitely like long before Raising Cain as well. And he accidentally, he's pretty sure that he's recorded a murder, and there's some cover-ups. This is very much of a downer ending. There's a bit of a cover-up like going on as well, and so basically his whole life has been sound, and has been like these sound recordings, and he's got this like library, meticulously done library of like sounds that he's recorded throughout his career. And this is what happens to that library. And you can see that kind of look, that kind of just like defeated, like look of kind of like devastated, like just pose and look on his face. And this, for me, that has always stuck out. This has been like, and this is one time like well, I could choose between the Arrow and the Criterion, and I got the Criterion because this cover just it spoke to me. There's some great stuff in here. There's an hour-long interview with Brian De Palma done by Noah Baumbach. This was back before the De Palma documentary. At the time, De Palma was one of those directors that didn't talk a lot about his films, so it was really kind of like a big treat. Hey, Border Strikes! It was a really big treat to get him like talking about his films on here. There's an interview with Nancy Allen, of course, who was married to at one time, married or dated, something like that. Nancy Allen was in like a lot of these films, like Dress to Kill, as well, and she was, of course, the body double in Dress to Kill for that sequence with when you thought you were looking at Angie Dickinson. That was actually close up. That was actually Nancy Allen. There was a second film on here, the 1967 feature Murder a la Mode. Murder a la Mode, and I'm pretty sure that's William Finley, like is in this one here. Of course, William Finley would be the star of Phantom of the Paradise with Jessica Harper and Paul Williams. Another fantastic little film. New video interviews with cameraman Garrett Brown on the Steadicam shots featured in the film within the film, and that's really cool actually. And on-set photos by photographer Louis Goldman. And of course, again, you get another one of the big kind of substantial booklets that Criterion used to do and hopefully will still do in the future, because some of their booklets now are pretty sad. You can see there's like a Portrait of the Artist as a Young Gadgeteer by Pauline Kael. So great stuff on here. Number 2. Number 3 is one of my most fun favorite kind of pseudo documentaries, and it deals with art forgery, basically fakery of many sorts, and it even does some fakery itself within the documentary. And that is F for Fake by Orson Welles. Probably one of the I'm missing some of your comments there, guys. I gotta open this up. I hate when I miss the comments. No, this is like a fantastic movie. If you've not seen F for Fake, I gotta say, I strongly 110% recommend this one here. It is a great little film. 310 to Yuma, that is fantastic. I love it. Oh, this is the original 310 Yuma. You've never seen it? This is a really good one, Boredom Strikes. And let me sell you on it. I always try to do this once per video for one film that I show off. F is for Fake is one of Orson Welles' better films. Like, he's made some amazing things. It's super cool. It actually does play close up. And not only that, but the features. I think the features are what I'm going to show you on this one. Aside from having like that, there's a really cool audio commentary on here. There's an introduction from Peter Bogdanovich. First 90 minutes. Yeah, actually, I know. I love that, actually. There's an episode of the talk show Tomorrow from 1975 with an interview with Welles. What's really cool here, though, is Orson Welles' one-man band. It's a documentary done in 1995 about Orson Welles projects that were never finished. So not only are you going to get like this fantastic Orson Welles film with some really great stuff, some really fascinating stuff, and like he talks about this art forger that did amazing stuff. Talks about like this guy that wrote a autobiography around the world. Oh, nice. It also has like a documentary on the unfinished work of Orson Welles, and that is fascinating. There's a 60 minutes interview with Clifford Irving, the guy that did the fake Howard Hughes biography, which is mentioned here. There is the Noble Art of Forgery, a 52-minute documentary from 1997 about art forger Elmer DeHoor. I did not know that, Jesse. That's actually cool. This film created the editing style for MTV in the late 80s. See, I learned something on here. There's an audio recording of Hughes' 1972 press conferences that exposes Irving's hoax. There's an extended 9-minute trailer of this for the film on here as well. And again, we get like, as you can see, this is when they're starting to get into like the smaller booklets. You'll see I'll show you what I mean here. Like, but if you don't have it, if you've never seen F for Fake, I recommend it. I strongly suggest you put this in your cart during the Barnes & Noble sale. You'll thank me for it. It's a really, really good one. Wells is so godlike. It's a great addition, Isaac. I'm sure that you are going to love it. I think he does. Actually, it's been a while since I've watched that. I actually might watch that after this video because I got to rewatch that documentary. I love Orson Welles. Well, you guys know I got a condo and a house in Morocco. Thank you, Isaac. And we usually like when we go to Morocco, we'll drive down to this area, Essaouira, and they have like a statue of Orson Welles there because he made Othello there, and it's a really nice place to check out. And I got next time I'm there, I got to get my picture with the Othello statue again, because we did have it, and we had it in one of those like cloud things, where you put all your pictures at, and then it got lost. So next time I go to Morocco, I'll get another picture near the Orson Welles statue. This is Fritz Lang Classic AM. I don't think I really need to say a lot about this one, other than, Peter Lorre definitely had his very best here. Fritz Lang is masterful. The work on this film is incredible. There's a great amount of features on here as well. If you have never seen AM, definitely see AM. It's a master class in expressionism cinema. You get like an outer commentary with two German film scholars whose names I'm not going to ruin. There's an hour-long English language version of M on here from a nitrate print. We got a conversation with Fritz Lang, a 50-minute one that was moderated by William Friedkin. Friedkin is really good with this. Claude Chabrol's short film actually inspired by M, plus a video interviewing with Chabrol about Lang's filmmaking techniques. There's a video interview with another person whose name I'm not going to pronounce, Harold Nebensal. We'll go with that. Son of M producer Seymour Nebensal. Classroom audio tapes of M editor Paul Falkenberg discussing the film and its history, set to clips from the movie. That fantastic. And again, documentary of the physical history of M, from production to distribution to digital restoration. As you can see, when they say Criterion is a film school in a box, this is exactly the type of release they're talking about. M literally is a legitimate film school in a box, and definitely worth owning. I've got to see your comments aren't popping up here all the time. I've actually got to look down here for them. Next up is a sort of screwball comedy. Either way, it's one of my favorite comedies of all time. It's often lumped in with screwball. I don't really consider it screwball, but it's lumped in with screwball comedy genre, and that is It Happened One Night with Clark Gable and Claudette Colbert. When they're tough, Laurie could always. He was masterful. When Laurie was on key, he was masterful with what he did. This is a fantastic film. I personally don't see this as a screwball comedy. His Girl Friday, that's a screwball comedy. Arsenic No Lace, that's a screwball comedy. I see this as a really good comedy and a really well put together done film. Again, this is a Frank Capra film, so it's going to have cinematography is going to be on point. It's going to have kind of the happier ending because this is Frank Capra after all. There's a screwball comedy conversation between Molly Haskell and Philip Lepoete. There's an interview with Frank Capra Jr. on there. There's Frank Capra's American Dream. This is a feature-length documentary about the director's life and career. I actually got that on something else too. I think one of my early Frank Capra releases. We got a new digital transfer of the Capra's first film, the 1921 short Folta Fisher's Boarding House, which I don't think I've ever watched actually. So I got to check that out. And with a new score composed and performed by Donald Sisson, and American Film Institute's tribute to Capra, done in 1982. Again, we get this is a later release from Criterion, but I do like the way that they got this done, even if it's not a... Oh, you got House? Did you really? Oh, dude. You're in for a treat. It's insane. I do like the way that this one is done. And this is just one of those movies I can watch over and over again. Boarding House, not the 80s slasher. If he's saying house, I'm guessing he means the house, which is the Japanese film, which I've got in my collection, which is totally insane. Very colorful, totally insane. And I wanted to put one Hitchcock one in here, and I know there's like, for people that like don't have any of the Hitchcock stuff that Criterion did, they recently did a Hitchcock set for their other Hitchcock stuff. I knew it was, I knew it. I was like, I knew it. It's fantastically insane. I love the booklet that comes with it too. It's like multicolored booklet. It's a treat. It really is. If you've got the Criterion edition in the house, that's a treat. The Man Who Knew Too Much. Yep, Peter Lorre again. I had to go with this one. This is my favorite edition of The Man Who Knew Too Much. I do like the remake as well, and of course it is set in Morocco, but I do love this version. I think this is a better version of The Man Who Knew Too Much. It's just, it's on point. It's 75 minutes long. You know, Peter Lorre again is just brilliantly like cool and creepy and slimy in this one here. Was this parodied? Yes, I'm probably sure. This was, well, this film itself was remade in with James Stewart and Doris Day, but this is my favorite version of the film. I think that the female act, like the lead actress in this one, the wife in the film, and I can't remember her name right now. I do apologize. She's a much stronger character than the Doris Day character is in the remake of the film. Like she's like an Olympian, and she does this like she's like good with the gun. Anyways, I can't remember what's called now. Like triathlon, I think. So there goes The Man Who Knew Too Much. Que Sera. I love this song, Que Sera Sera. Which, by the way, Doris Day I think originally did not want to sing that in that film. Just like at Peter Lorre, young Peter Lorre there. Fantastic film. And there you go. Those are 6 fantastic Criterion releases that I strongly recommend. We got Sweet Smell of Success, here by director Alexander McKendrick, and he, of course, he ended up leaving directing. We got Blowout by Brian De Palma on here. We got F for Fake by the fantastic Orson Welles. We got Fritz Lang's M. We got Frank Capra's It Happened One Night. And we got The Man Who Knew Too Much by some unknown director by the name of Alfred Hitchcock. But there's like a lot going on during the sale. So what I did, I brought down my trusty computer again today. I figured I actually enjoyed the fact that my computer was here last night. If you were here for my full moon video, then you know that I was able to actually dive in and like just look onto the full moon website and actually like talk to you guys about a lot of the releases, because I don't want my channel, when I'm talking about a company or something like that, to be like defined by just what I got in my collection. I want to be able to talk to you about stuff that I haven't got yet, or things that are strong, like that are strong things that are high on my list of things to get. I did watch a Criterion film on the Criterion channel about 2 nights ago. I watched Michael Haneke's Funny Games, the original, and was fantastic and was still as strong as ever. Mr. Vincent, I am Mr. Vincent, and I do love my my Vinegar Syndrome stuff, but I do like a lot of companies. I'll always promote my Vinegar Syndrome stuff, but I will. But that being said, I love Criterion. I love Arrow. There's just so many companies out there to look into. Today, for instance, in a little bit, we're going to look into 88 films, and we're going to like focus on their Italian collection. Your preferred version of The Man Who Knew Too Much is the original, as well. See, I think the original one is the better one, and like from a filmmaking standpoint, I definitely think it's a better film. It's more tightly edited. There's a more sense. I find that there's more. Oh, Funny Games. Most people like the original. I mean, like the remake, which actually isn't bad, was done by the director. It was a shot-for-shot remake, and he did that on purpose. I don't own the color pomegranate in either edition, which is a shame. Unfortunately there's a lot that I don't own. With all that I own, there's still a lot. The thing about being a collector, no matter how much you got, You always see the spaces that aren't there. Okay, there's some great stuff out there coming out from Criterion. I mean, like that's out now. During the sale, we got Blue Velvet by David Lynch, which is a fantastic film. It is probably one of my favorite Lynchian films. It's incredibly well done. It's definitely the no doubt about it. Blue Velvet. Without Blue Velvet, Twin Peaks never would have happened. Because Blue Velvet is like Twin Peaks the movie. Pretty much like it predates Twin Peaks, and it is very Twin Peaksian in so many ways. If you're a Twin Peaks fan, if you've never seen Blue Velvet, get on that, because it's really just an amazing one. One of the big ones people are buying right now, and I was actually surprised to see this come out by Criterion, but I'm happy to, and that is Criterion's Police Story and Police Story 2. That's Jackie Chan, and actually that's kind of cool that they've been like going out. And something I got to say, like speaking of like of Vinegar Syndrome, the most recent month of Vinegar Syndrome was like a really kind of like different, unique, eclectic month. It didn't like focus on like a bunch of like erotica or a bunch of horror. It just did a lot of different stuff. And some people, like, there's a bit of backlash with that when they did that. But I actually I applaud Vinegar Syndrome for like going outside the box and going outside the regular comfort zone, and doing some, like, putting on some different stuff like Putney Swope and stuff like that. That I think taking Tiger Mountain, some very different titles for the company. So if you haven't checked those out, definitely check them out, because it's nice to know that companies will go outside, get us stuff that we may not have got otherwise. All right, next up is the Russian classic War and Peace. This is a long one, guys. If you pick this one up, plan for this to be a weekend, a weekend release. Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing. Again, you can pre-order that one here. I think that's a pre-order right now. I actually really love that film. I remember seeing it in theater, actually. Oh, you're lucky. That's sold out, actually. I was like, heard the last movie's gone. So if you got it, you're lucked out. Clute, which is Alan J. Pakula. I'm a huge Donald Sutherland fan, and this is a really great Donald Sutherland movie. So if you've not seen Clute, definitely recommend it. Notorious is here as well, which is a fantastic film. Actually, Logan Toxic picked up Notorious during the sale. And he picked up Swing Time too, I think was the other one he picked up. So make sure to check out Logan Toxic's video on his Criterion pickups. And so I'm not going to go into those anymore, because I'll let Logan talk about those. My favorite that I really wanted right now was Elia Kazan's A Face in the Crowd. If you have never seen A Face in the Crowd, you're going to see a very different Andy Griffith. This is not Matlock. This is not the Sheriff Andy from the Andy Griffith Show. This is a very, very different character. If you have never seen A Face in the Crowd, it is one of Elia Kazan's best films. It is very, very relevant right now, and I strongly recommend you check it out. Has anybody here seen the film? You guys are like so quiet. Well, you're not quiet, you're talking, but nobody's answering my question. So I'm guessing nobody here has seen A Face in the Crowd. If you have one blind buy recommendation from me this time around of a movie that you may not have seen, it's A Face in the Crowd. So that's my recommend. That is the Aaron Pin. I'm not going to say Professor Pin, because some people really hate that. Hey, Cropsey. That is my pick. That is my blind buy pick for everybody. Is check out A Face in the Crowd. You'll be glad you did. It is a fantastic film. It is masterfully done. And it is Andy Griffith's, actually, I think it's his first film, or definitely one of his first films. Exactly. Like, somebody on Instagram watched my video last night. I think it's Mug, and said he's going to order Laser Blast, which is fantastic, with update on the full moon video. But there's a ton of good stuff here. Swing Time with Fred Astaire, directed by George Stevens. Again, one of his best films. This is Astaire and Rogers, so it's the classic duo. We got Funny Games, which I mentioned before. A lot of people are looking for that one right now. Michael Haneke. I hear that one's selling out at a lot of Barnes & Nobles. So, definitely check it out. I've got the Bergman set. Like definitely, if you got the bones, pick up the Bergman set for $149. That's like cheap as hell for that set. I think that's about what we paid for it. We paid like 139, something like that. Because like Criterion had a flash sale close to my birthday. In the Heat of the Night against Sidney Poitier, it's a fantastic. We did the book when we were in school. Mikey and Nicky with John Cassavetes and Peter Falk. That's a fantastic. I haven't seen that movie in ages, Jesse. Uh, and if I was buying one, that's definitely on the list of ones that I would pick up. I'm a huge John Cassavetes fan. I was more of a fan of him as like a director than I was as an actor. And actually, ironically, Vinegar Syndrome, so title Incubus, actually got me more into wanting to see more John Cassavetes acting wise, because I really got to understand him through that Vinegar Syndrome release and understand like his take on acting. And as like somebody that did did acting, but theater stuff, that I admire that. I don't have Tootsie. It's a fantastic film. Cropsy, I remember seeing Tootsie in the theater actually. Oh God, I feel old. Uh, I do actually. Sometimes I don't know if I can do sad right now though. In the Heat of the Night, again, there's that scene that everybody loves, and it's that classic iconic scene. And he's like, where the cop pulls over Sidney Poitier's character, and he's like taking out his he got taken out his wallet, taking out everything, and the last thing that he takes out is his badge. And there's a and always a classic line that actually became the sequel was, what do they call you, boy? They call me Mr. Tibbs. I love that line. It's fantastic. It is so cool. The slap scene, no, I thought about it, but that they call me Mr. Tibbs, and basically when he first comes into town, it is such a fantastically well done. So that entire film is utterly genius, and let's be honest. I love to say that when the Heat of the Night came around, and then later on the TV series, Carol O'Connor will come around, and you know, society changed, unfortunately. Still a long ways to go, guys. But movies like these are important to see. And Sidney Poitier is one of my favorite actors. Not like favorite like actor of of a certain color, but just favorite actor. Period. He's magnificent. Detour is a really kind of fun little cool noir film that actually really enjoy. That I do recommend. House of Games, directed by David Mamet, has some great, like, crisp dialogue and a great performance by Joe Mantegna in it. Really do like that film. Always been a strong one on my list. I think so, actually. Uh, it's been a while since I've seen the series, and I know like they recasted like one of the roles. Was it the main role they recasted in in that show? Because I remember like a big recasting, like one of the main characters. If it wasn't like Virgil Tibbs, it was actually one of the main characters got recasted because like he wasn't getting along. There was stuff behind the scenes anyway. Doctor Strangelove, I'm sure a lot of people. He died. Oh, he died. Oh, okay. That's a good reason for recasting that. Yeah, as you can see, Jesse, it's been a while since I watched any of it. I might actually. I don't know if I got any here. Actually, in the Heat of the Night, I used to love that show. Doctor Strangelove, I'm sure a lot of people are going to pick up. Don't miss out on Kid Brother as well, which is a fun little one. If you want like a kind of a mainstream one, then The Princess Bride, and let's see if I can find it here. It is because the fact that they put that movie out like really makes me happy. Hey Ryan, welcome. Uh, as You Wish, maybe, and my better half actually thinks so too. One of the most romantic lines in cinematic history. Just cause. If you've seen the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Actually, I did hear about the original series. I got asked about that recently, actually. All of the Charlie Chaplin releases are worth picking up, Jesse. If you don't, do you have any of them? If you don't, I mean, like stuff like Gold Rush, Modern Times, definitely go with. If you want to get like riskier with Charlie Chaplin, you can check out like Monsieur Bordeaux, which actually is a really good one. Oh, Gold. I would go like Gold Rush, Modern Times, The Kid. Those are those three are like considered classics. Gold Rush is my personal favorite Chaplin, but yeah, I'm probably missing one though too. Um, got Kid Brother yesterday. Nice. Harold Lloyd's fantastic. And Limelight. Yeah, I actually forgot about that. He does such great stuff. Knife for Murder, Thief, F for Fake, Nashville, The Killing, Face Snicker. Nice. That's make it expensive. It can. Mulholland Drive. The definitive edition of Mulholland Drive is fantastic. The Pyotr Tarkovsky Stalker, which is a fantastic film as well. If you haven't checked that out, I'm going through bestseller, not by what was most recently released, so that's why you're going to see different stuff. Robert Zemeckis' I Want to Hold Your Hand, basically on the Beatlemania thing. It's just kind of fun little film. Of course, House was mentioned earlier. Jim Jarmusch's Night on Earth is a great little film. On 6 hours, they're fun. I mean, you just got to get the right title. I mean, for instance, when you're looking at like the French new wave stuff, there's like stuff like Breathless, which I think is kind of like hits that goes past the spot of like the of pretension when it actually comes into fun. There's the Before trilogy done by Linklater. If you're a fan of those, of course, Silence of the Lambs. Mickey and Nicky was already recommended. It's a great Ellen May film. Um, Night on Earth is a really fun like one. Of course, they did like the earlier ones like Stranger Than Paradise, of course, which also is another Jim Jarmusch film. Um, Barry Lyndon, I'm not a huge fan of, but there's like some big like fans when it comes to Barry Lyndon. There's great like camera work and great lighting done within Barry Lyndon. Wanda is one that I get recommended a lot recently, and I don't remember it. I don't know if I've seen it, to be totally honest with you. But it's been recommended to me quite frequently recently. Of course, Rebecca, it's classic Hitchcock under Zelnick, of course. Um, and getting into some more like the more of like I guess more well-known stuff. It's like Night of the Living Dead. I can't imagine that like anybody except for me at this point doesn't have. Eden Rule, I think, was a Criterion release. That was a good film. That's Paul Bartel. I'm a huge Paul Bartel fan. That's why you see Lust and Lust over my collection over there. And I know they put it. Is that one of the? Is that still out there? Rebecca with Army Hammer. Well, Rebecca's a movie that I can't see being remade. I think it's been already remade before. Uh, but I'm not bothered by remakes because the original film's still there, and it's on Criterion, so it's there in an awesome edition. Breakfast Club is a movie that defined my generation. If you are around my age, The Breakfast Club is a film that you not only liked, but you probably identified with at least one or more of the characters in the film. It has one of the great '80s soundtracks of all time. Just some amazing stuff, and the girl that that does like "We Are Not Alone," which is the big dance song in the Breakfast Club when they do that big dance scene, is actually the same girl that did the duet with Meatloaf back in the day. Friends of Eddie Coyle is a fantastic film, actually. I love it. I don't want to see Back to the Future remade either. Actually, if it was remade, I'll be honest with you, it wouldn't be for me. I'd say, okay, maybe it's remade for another generation, but it's kind of timeless. It's kind of timeless. See, I've got my biases there. So although I don't mind remakes, I'll be like, there's certain ones I don't want to see touched. And like Black Christmas is my favorite film. It's been remade for the second time, and I'm kind of okay with it. But maybe it's because of the type of film that it is. There's certain films I don't want to see touched. But like people say, don't remake The Shining. Like, I'm sorry, The Shining hasn't been done right yet. Stanley Kubrick did an amazing film. It wasn't the book The Shining, but he did an amazing film. The TV version of The Shining did the best that it could on a TV budget and done over a miniseries. I'd still love to see like a properly great adaptation of that book done, and taking aspects of the actual the Kubrick film as well, like the kind of get like the best of both worlds. Uh, okay, one that I did not know was available is 40 Guns, which is a Samuel Fuller Western. As you guys know, I'm a huge Samuel Fuller fan. I got the Samuel Fuller box set back there. I got the Indicator one. I got the Sony one over there. I'm good, like whether it's DVD or Blu-ray, I'm good for my Samuel Fuller stuff. Paris, Texas is a good Wim Wenders film if you haven't checked it out. Mendelsohn Emerson's incredible stuff. I'm just going through some of these here, guys, to give you some idea of like type of stuff that's not in my collection that I would love. 8.5 weeks. 8.5 weeks. 8.5. Shot Quarter is fantastic because that's an earlier one that they put out. That one I do know. Shot Quarter and what's the other one called? Naked Kiss, right? Something like that. Naked Kiss? I think it's Naked Kiss. Those were great, and I still have to get those. 8.5 by Federico Fellini is one of those filmmakers' films. If you've never seen 8.5, and like even if you don't really like the French New Wave stuff, 8.5 is one to see. It definitely is one to see. Of course, I showed on here the other day. I showed my one of my favorite films is Kiss Me Deadly, and of course, if you've got Kiss Me Deadly, if you've ever seen the film, you're going to want to see like some of the movies that inspired, including Alex Cox's film Repo Man, which is also out on Criterion. Has a really good like edition, by the way. They did a great edition of that. 12 Angry Men with Sidney Lumet is fantastic. It's just a masterclass of acting with that one. We got Lone Wolf and Cub here, down to $49.99 for the complete set. I got the old Anamiga set, but I definitely need to upgrade it down the road. I got the Zadiichi set, so I got to have the Lone Wolf and Cub set, right? Female Trouble with Divine, directed by John. Anything directed by John Waters, I'm a big fan of. See, Isaac, this is what happens when I'm on early in the morning. And thank you. Yes, that famous French cinema from Fellini. Thank you for catching that. Like, this is live, so I can't like edit it out or anything like that. But hands down, most hilarious part of this. Oh, Polyester, that has an amazing cover, doesn't it? I love the cover to Polyester. Also a great film, by the way. But I'm a huge John Waters fan. I've always like, I grew up like some of his stuff kind of, thanks, man. If I had to give one part of my collection, what would I give up? Oh, ooh, that's hard. My Criterions or my 88 films? I'd give up my 88 films before I give my Criterions. Like, I don't want to give either one of them. But if I had to do one of it, I am like a student of film. And I don't, and with the stuff I got in 88 films, a lot of them can be transferred over to another, to like from other companies like Vinegar Syndrome, stuff like that. Criterion they're kind of irreplaceable. You keep the 88s. See, the thing is that Cropsey, you're in the UK, but here a lot of the stuff that are on the 88 films are released in other like companies as well. So if I gave up my 88 films, I could still buy it from another company. But like say, like under your scenario, say like I had to give up my 88 films and I could not buy them back, right? Then I would be like, okay, I got to be able to get them somewhere, because there's a lot of films in the film collection that are fantastic that I really want. But in the Criterion ones, there a lot of them like I'm not going to go out and pick up like some of these here in like other editions. That's the thing. So that's the way I'd have to go. Hopefully, ideally, neither one of them though. But hopefully that's a good enough answer. See, I don't know if so much as I used to think that I used to have a similar like thought to you when it came to that. But I find that with a lot of this stuff, I'm as I get older, especially, I open up to different ones. Anthropophagus, absurd, Jesse, absurd, the perfect Criterion release. Absurd is an important film. I think that they've really like reached out and to try and and be more inclusive. Now there's certain films that just are not for everybody. That's the thing. Not everybody is gonna let's be honest, is gonna sit down and say, you know what, I want to watch like Berlin But you know, that same person that doesn't like Berlin might like Rashomon or Days of Heaven with Terrence Malick, or one of my like personal Peter Sellers, you know, favorites, Being There, which is which I hope is Peter Sellers. I hope I got that one right. Emmanuel America. If you want those Emmanuel types, get Salo, guys. So that's what we want to get. Uzu I like a lot. Tokyo Story is good. The one I want that was Good Morning. That's the Uzu film that I most want in my collection right now. There's a Del Toro box set which I think is incredible. It's got like Pan's Labyrinth, Devil's Backbone, and it's got Kronos on it. Kronos is actually one of my favorites. I really love Kronos. People don't talk about that one enough, actually. We'll get like stuff like the Michael Antonio's Blow Up, again, another fantastic film. Malick is such a good, like, I really like Malick. I'm just going to go over a couple more pages, then we'll go to the 88 film stuff, because I know some of you guys want to get into that. Again, All That Jazz, but with director Bob Fosse. I really like that. Broadcast news. As a guy that was, you know, did go to school for journalism, journalism is like really strong into my, I'm very defensive of like, of journalism. So the whole like, you know, fake news thing really bothers me, to be completely honest with you. Because I know how hard journalism, like journalists work, and how risky and how dangerous like the job can be. Trust me, I've been there. But again, broadcast news. James O. Brooks, fantastic little film. Hell Ashby again. Shampoo, great release. Paths to Glory by Kubrick is fantastic. Hard Day's Night is a really fun one. There's the other French film, La Dolce Vita. I'm not just joking. La Dolce Vita's got Philadelphia Story. George Cukor, I think, is one that everybody. Black Shampoo, yeah, is Philadelphia Story is a really fun little film with Cary Grant, and I think it's Cary Grant, James Stewart. Badlands, again, there's another Malick film, and of course Malick again with The Thin Red Line. So with that being said, we're gonna switch over. I might come back to Criterion, but we'll go over to the 88 Films Italian collection. I got like just a handful of those that I can show you guys. And I was recently asked about this, basically, like what is 88 Films? What are they like? What's their Italian collection like? A viewer on here named George, really nice guy. Actually, has been collecting Arrow, and he recently started collecting some 88 films. So I went and picked him up. He actually was unaware that he had an 88 films in his collection. Actually, but he did. He had like the Children of the Corn box set from the Slasher Classics collection, and he went out and he picked up some really cool, actually some very cool 88 films Italian collection today. So I'm going to show you. I got like just like 6 here, and I'll mention some other ones that are on it. Yes, yeah, it's French New Extreme films. So the first one I got is actually, I'm not sure what number is this one. We'll go with number 9 first. No, we'll go with number 2 first. Okay. So number 2 is The Bloodstained Shadow, which is an amazing giallo film. If you have not checked this out, it's done by Antonio Bito. It is incredible. It's not one of the sleazier giallos, you know, it doesn't really deal like strongly with that aspect of it. It's got a great mystery to it. I really like the twist within this one. It's but Scholar, do you dislike Bito? Huh? I remember watching this, and there's like zero, like when it comes to like actual like real features on this one here, and I'm like, damn, there's no features. But then I open up this, and it had this like this booklet, and it isn't a fantastic film, Cropsy. I definitely agree. And this booklet here had everything that I wanted to know, like feature-wise, like anything that like any kind of burning questions I had were there. And of course, it has like the art card with it, because he did art cards with these. You may be prophetic, Jesse. Just saying, you may be. Definitely, if you're a giallo fan at all, you do not have this in your collection, get this in your collection ASAP. It is a fantastic film. Say if you went to, say during the Arrow sale that's been on, when you picked up a few giallos, you kind of got like a jonesing for them. Oh, dude, well, one, Isaac, pick this up. 2, get yourself some Martino. Um, I would recommend like there's definitely like you've got like you said you got what who did you deal with? You got Argento and Bava. Okay, you want some Fulci. You want to get Don't Torture a Duckling. That's a classic. When it comes to Martino, Your Vice is a Locked Room and Only I Have the Key. I know it's got a long title. It's a really really good one. The Red Queen Kills 7 Times. Pretty fantastic little giallo. There's also like God, what's the other one called? Evelyn, like Antonio Margaretti does some great stuff. Like look at Martino. There is Torso is kind of like a combination giallo slasher. I don't consider it like a full-on giallo, but you can look into that as well. Massimo Dallamano, Jesse just mentioned there, another fantastic director. Fulci's film Lizard in a Woman's Skin is another incredible giallo. I suggest like looking towards Shameless Films, for instance, and Arrow, who put out a lot of this stuff. So you can get like I'd go to Martino and Fulci next. What have you done to Solange? Basically the whole like Schoolgirl trilogy. What have you done to Solange? What have you done to your daughters? Well, Tenebrae. Well, Tenebrae's Argento, so I'm guessing he's got Tenebrae. Strange Vices of Mrs. Ward is one of the best giallos of all time. And when I was actually doing a giallo collection here, I actually got that actually got mentioned. Actually, I forgot to mention. I had to do it in the second video. I'm a huge Martino fan. So you've got some great suggestions. I'll tell you what, I do giallo videos on a regular basis. Probably within my next video or two, Isaac, what I'll do is I'll get a list of giallos for you. And like stuff from my collection, stuff like that, we'll look at it. And we'll look into my giallo collection again. And we'll kind of do a deep dive, because there's some stuff there. Aces of Fear is actually one that I actually really enjoy. It's a very different one though. That's not. It's almost the non-giallo giallo Aces of Fears. Next up in the 10 collection is Zombie 3. Yes, I did get the sexy like slipcover. I love talking about giallo. Any excuse, Isaac, you can give me to talk about giallo films. Yeah, I definitely will. So this is, of course, the Zombie Flesh Eaters 2 is what it was called. This is done by Fulci and Bruno Mattei. I was saying the titles. The neat thing about this edition of it is, aside from having zombie flesh eaters, it had this kind of like this unique little documentary. I would get the Severin one. I mean, like they're both good, but you need them both. And let me tell you why you need them both. If you can get the limited edition of the 88 Films one, get it because of Pora, which is a neat little kind of like basically people giving their thoughts on Fulci. It's like it's a little movie called Fulci Remembered, and they basically 2 or 3 minutes from each person, just giving like a reflection on Fulci. Director videos. That actually is a great idea. I've actually been going to do that. And I keep like slagging off, to be honest with you, Cropsy. But I totally, they like to just go over like certain directors, like go over like Fulci, Martino, Bava. Like I get asked a lot about Bava, especially with the new box set that came out, like this coming out from Arrow Films. People have been asking me to like to dive into Bava a bit more, and I will. I mean, I just got my full moon video done last night. People were asking about. I did it last night for a specific reason, actually, because they had a full moon July 4th sale. I love Paul Naschy, and it comes from my dad. My dad's a huge fan of Paul Naschy. He actually, through Facebook and that, actually got to converse with Paul Naschy before he passed away a few years back. Anything that I've learned about Paul Naschy comes directly from my dad. He is the biggest werewolf fan in the world. Paul Naschy was his favorite. He's got the book. If you have never seen the documentary, The Man Who Saw Frankenstein Cry, it is insanely good, and it's about Paul Naschy, and his life is utterly fascinating. There's a book that's even better, but like watch that documentary if you can get your hands on it. Definitely check it out, and definitely check out Paul Naschy's book, because it was incredible. Bava, that actually baffles me. I think that if Criterion ever opens the floodgate on giallo, like really on giallo, because Investigation of a Citizen, Beyond, what's it called again? Investigation of a Citizen Beyond Suspicion, or something like that. Was kind of like testing the waters, but an actual giallo. If they ever really open the floodgate to giallo, they're gonna I think they're gonna do incredible sales with it. So Bava's one to look into when it comes to when it comes to them. I really wish they would. I seriously wish they would. All right. The next one, as Jesse thought about. Oh, I would too. I mean, like any Giallos I got here, like the Giallos are like they're like the stars of my collection. So if Criterion said, I got like 3 versions of Don't Torture Duckling right now. 3 versions of Don't Torture Duckling. If Criterion said they're hey, we're putting out a Don't Torture Duckling, then you'd see them put it out. Then you see me like buy it again because I'm sorry, I love that film. Live Like a Cop, Die Like a Man. You were right, Jesse. This is actually one of my favorite. And how do you pronounce this again? Palazzi. One of my favorite Palazzi films. Totally, probably pronounced it wrong. I'm going to say it's because of morning, but I've always got to pronounce one thing wrong per video. It's almost like a trope now for my videos. Live Like a Cop, Die Like a Man. Fantastic film. If you have not seen this, this is great. I'm a huge Mark. It's Mark Perel. Yeah, it's Mark Perel and Ray Lovelock in this one. And if you have not seen this one, it is a great film. And you know, I'd actually forgotten that this was done by Deodato. But these are like, I want a TV series about these cops, but I can't now because Ray Lovelock is no longer with us, I don't think. Or not, neither are both these guys dead? But I really enjoyed this one here. There's the art card on the inside for this one. Oops, is that nudity? Almost nudity. Thank God it wasn't. I was nervous there. But again, this is a fantastic one. Live Like a Cop, Die Like a Man. Great movie. A lot of action. And if you have not seen it, check this out. Next up is a movie for the whole family. No, Man from Deep River. This is one of the original cannibal films. Again, I really enjoyed this one. I don't like cannibal films very much. I actually did like this one. This came out almost more of an adventure film than a cannibal film. She was with it. Yeah, isn't that freaky? There's a sequence too where they're interrogating the girl. There's so Blue Undergrounds make me rebuy so much Cropsy. They're just making me rebuy so much. But what's really cool about this one is there's a Mimi Lay Bites Back where there's hey Logan, welcome dude. I just earlier on mentioned that your Criterion Hall video. I did send people your way, by the way. Because this is the famous or infamous Logan Toxic who does the Criterion stuff and has the Criterion song. I did see the new Bava set. I don't know. I'm pretty sure you're like me, and you got most of these films, but the book, man, the book. That's the thing. That's the crux of it all. Do I want to rebuy these to get the book? I don't own 2 or 3 of them, so that I can almost justify it. Yeah, that's the thing. Like they put out this amazing set, and rumor is that they might, they're trying to renegotiate the rights to Bava stuff. If they can't get the rights to Bava stuff, this is their last hurrah for Bava. So kind of going out with a bang type of thing. I spoke with Steph from Just the Discs and Screamcast, the podcast. And she says, which she said on Twitter too, basically, I may have to get this movie. It's my favorite this box set. It's my favorite color of green. So, like, I could probably justify getting it and maybe like selling off my other ones that I got, because I got like 4 or 5 in at least 4 maybe in the collection. I could probably like put them on Amazon or something like that, and recoup part of the cost, because I do want the book. I do really want that book. Ironically, when the Arrow stuff came up, I immediately, like 10 seconds after the announcement was done, I went in, I pre-ordered Hills Have Eyes 2, which is a horrible film, but I love it. And I pre-ordered the Prey, which again is a slasher film, which it's a thing, which I like. But check this out. Mimi Lay documentary. Definitely, definitely fun stuff. I love documentaries. You think it's a spit in the face for people about what about people that haven't about it though? I mean, here's the thing. It's not like Arrow went out and released like all those Bavas last year. Like they're let's be honest, some of those they've been released over, a couple years, a few years. And then there's this box set. So people that haven't like dove into Bava before, can grab the set. People that got the Bavas, like really, like if they really want to, like me for instance, I can sell off some of my Bavas and buy the set type of thing. It depends, or I can keep them and I have them both, which I might do because I'm such a sucker. But my better half might say, well, you can get them because I don't have Rabid Dogs, which I think is on the set, and I do not have I don't have the incredible film. What's it called? Not incredible film. Least in the Devil, House of Exorcism. That one. Oh well, two actually. It's really two films, two different cuts of the same film. Yeah, well, yes, that's the thing. Like I got, like there's movies like, oh God, there's so many films here. Like look at how many. Remember when Anchor Bay put out Evil Dead, and then like the other Evil Dead, and then like the other Evil Dead. Yeah, that's the thing, Logan. I think like it's right. It's more like it's a way for like people that maybe didn't get them, or people that want to dive in like a bit deeper. And I do kind of. I love Arrow's books. Like I'm sure you can buy those Vincent Price ones over there now. That's in that, and you got Logan's got the set too. The Vincent Price box, the Six Gothic Tales. You can buy that on its own. Like you can buy like the movies on their own now, I think. However, that book, the book in Six Gothic Tales with the essays and the comic books, that's worth its weight in gold for me. So if their Bava set is anything, gonna have a book anything like that, then yeah, I may have to just pick it up. It's gonna be one of the releases to get. Like, and here's the thing: it's coming out in September. So, but the thing is, Jesse, if they re-release it, like they're starting to re-release sets now, and I actually really like that because I got the ring set. I got to say too, I'm glad I waited on the ring set because although I don't have the ring book, the really nice book that came with it, the box art for the set, the re-release of the ring, way way better than the box art for the original release of the ring. Just like 10 times, which kind of makes you reflect, man. I got the house set as well. It's really like. Did you pick up the ring set at all, Logan? If you didn't, the sale's still going on until the 7th. But today's the 7th, huh? Maybe is it still going on now? I'm not sure. Or we're selling like Barnes and Noble too, more than likely. But it is a really cool set, and not it's not just and the cool thing about this is not only is it a good set and it looks good, but it's got great stuff on it. Like on the third disc, right? Like the Ring Zero disc. Oh, Cropsy, talk to you later, man. Thanks for coming in. It's been a while. On the third Ring one, there's a visual essay, and Arrow does visual essays better than anybody else, in my opinion. They're one of the only companies that does it, but they do it better than anyone else anyway. Jasper Sharp does a visual essay on J horror, and he goes right from the beginnings of J horror, like the genesis, like of like where it started, where it came from, where it went to pretty much the decline of it, and it is fascinating. It is utterly fascinating. There is a new 4K restoration of the original Ring on there with some great documentaries on the Ring as well. Just incredible stuff. If you don't have it in your collection, I strongly recommend it. Like when you're looking at Arrow stuff, well, when it's on like for half price and stuff like that, yeah, it's one to get. It's definitely like a serious one, and it's one that I initially thought I wasn't going to pick up. I mean, like I said, well, I kind of like the Ring. I'm not quite sure. I had the DVD like box set of the Ring at one point, and I gave it to my kids because they're huge fans of J horror and K horror. But yeah, I had to pick it up. It was definitely a classic one. So that's my Arrow box set recommendation right now. Definitely get the American Horror Project stuff. If you love regional horror, That's the thing. There's a caveat there. You got to like regional horror. American Horror Project definitely like deep diving into regional horror stuff. But if you're looking at like kind of a mainstream, kind of a cool one for the Halloween, for the October month coming up, then get yourself the Ring set. It's really good. You got 4 movies. You get the Ring. Well, you get perfect, Dan. So you get the Ring, you get the Ring 2, you get the movie that came out before the Ring 2, actually the actual kind of like the literal sequel, which is Raison, well, or Spiral, and you get Ring Zero, which is kind of like a prequel to the Ring. Ring Zero is kind of crazy. It's kind of fun though. All of them are really fun. Like, you know, the Ring is the classic one. Some people go back and forth debating whether they like that or not. I think they will. I mean, I like it's like Fulci box set. I think we'll probably get that one day. It's like the you know, the Criterion box set I got upstairs. You know, the Ingmar Bergman thing. Eventually, if a company has so many films of a director, it only makes sense that down the road they look into releasing a set, and especially right now because you're, you know, physical media. And I'm going to say this. I actually thought of this. I was having a conversation with a couple people last night, and the buying physical media, buying movies like in stores or these sales and stuff like that, it is guided by, you know, by YouTube, the same as like a lot of films are. You know, there's still like the movie sites and the review sites and stuff like that. But let's be honest, like if I go to look to see like about movies or about a sale or or a company, I type it into YouTube, and I look and I see the videos that are out there. If I want to know about the Criterion sale, I go to Logan's channel. I see videos like that. You know, I go and I check out that type of stuff. If somebody is looking for Vinegar Syndrome stuff, 9/10 out of 10, once they know I'm here, that, you know, I'm one of the channels that they come to for stuff like that. YouTube has changed the you know, the way, the outlook of it. I think I'm hoping I'm the same as you, Kurosawa. I mean, I know they did that DVD box set like a long time ago. You see the Criterion sale theme song that the Criterion, as soon as the Criterion sale starts every time, right, every, like, you know, twice a year, I message my kids. They're in university right now, and I'm like, you know, the Criterion sale is going on, and then they come back every time with a line from the Criterion sale song, because they know it off by heart, because they're their dad's kids. That's that's why. But yeah, that's the thing. Physical media is, you know, it is like in a big and a large part, like it's not the casuals that's you know, that's pushing the market. It's the collector, and the collectors are watching us. Not maybe not me so much, but like some bigger people. But I think the Kurosawa set, I think that'll be the next big one. I'm kind of like, I wonder. It makes me like, they haven't announced 1,000 yet. Like Criterion is coming upon their 1,000th like number. A lot of people think it could be like Citizen Kane, like come up for like Criterion, like number 1,000, which would be interesting. There's some great like releases of Citizen Kane out there already, but I would rebuy it if it was Criterion, because I think I've only got Citizen Kane on DVD, which is shameful. I don't have the Blu-ray actually. So I would get that if that was Criterion 1000. But can you imagine if Criterion 1000 was like a box set? If they were like going back like to almost the beginning and like saying, we're doing like the Criterion 1000 is the Kurosawa box set. Who wouldn't be getting that? I mean, like, seriously. Like, I think the Bergman collection is in almost all our cases right now. Yeah, Frankenstein. That's what it'll be. Frankenstein. Thomas Edison's Frankenstein. But I would love to see. People are making bets on what the Criterion 1000 is. A lot of people like the safe bet is something along the lines of Citizen Kane. Some people even went to like 2001 or something like that. I don't think so. We recently got a 2001 4K release. I don't think that's going to come anytime in the near future. Um, I hope that they do something big with the 1000th release. Hope that they don't. Like, come on, with 666 they did the Devil's Backbone, so they can do something for 1000. Um, I would personally, I hope it's a Kurosawa set. That's my dream. That's my dream release. Nobody, I don't think anybody saw the von Sternberg set coming. They had like an earlier von Stern. Didn't they have an earlier von Sternberg set? Josef von Sternberg. Um, and I still don't have that set. I got to get it. I mean, I also like, I want the, oh God, speaking of sets that I need to pick up, there's that Dietrich set that's coming from Indicator as well. Uh, yeah, because they're the silent films that were released on DVD. We ordered it. We ordered it from Amazon. And we waited like a year and a half. Never showed up. Never came. But then it was just like, oh, but we kept it there. We were like stubborn. And then they finally said, we can't get it. Like, no crap. No. At this point, we're pretty sure that you weren't going to get it. But we were just waiting around to see if it would happen. But I don't know. Like when it comes to the Criterion stuff, I mean, there's a lot that I don't have. I mean, my Criterion selection, like I'm lucky that I got like the Zadichi set. I got the Bergman set. I got the Jack Demy set. Everybody should own the Jack Demy set. It is incredible. It's just got some great stuff in it. The Young Ladies of Rushford, amazing. That's my favorite. That's my favorite Jack Demy film of all of them. I mean, people type umbrellas and all that, but I don't get the 100 Years of Olympics. I maybe it's lost on me, but I remember they announcing it when they announced the 100 Years of Olympics set, and I was like, literally, it was kind of a why moment. But I guess they're, you know, I guess I don't know. Does anybody get that? Does anybody have the 100 Years of Olympics set? Did anybody get it, or is anybody like excited? 30 for 30 I actually like those were actually some really cool documentaries that they did. I love the 30 for 30 set was pretty awesome. I don't have it. Actually, I don't. Actually, we watched some of them, some of those documentaries back, not on ESPN because I'm in Canada, but on our equivalent channel, which I did enjoy. The other two I got because I got to mention them. Emmanuel and the Last Cannibal, and the 88 Films movie that I recommend, Burial Ground. See this movie. Yeah, I don't know anybody that got that set. But there's so much great stuff coming out from Criterion. Let's like dive back into some of the Criterion stuff that we're looking into earlier. Like La Samurai is definitely one I need to pick up. I still don't have the Complete Lady Snowblood. It has a gorgeous, gorgeous cover. I know it was put out by Arrow as well, but the Complete Lady Snowblood edition, Criterion edition, is the one that I want to pick up. It's a sexier looking edition. It is actually, and it has some like different features on here as well. The reason I'm not buying any Kurosawa at the moment is because of that. Because I think the set is coming up. If you don't have Eyes Without a Face, get that. I mean, like immediately pick that up. That is a fantastic film. The box set I probably want most right now from them is one of their older ones, and that is America Lost and Found: The BBS Story. That is an incredible box set with some fantastic films, and one of my favorite pieces of acting ever is Jack Nicholson in Five Easy Pieces. And back in my acting days, stuff like Five Easy Pieces and Easy Rider were movies that I would watch, and I would actually, because there was no internet back then, I would like pause the VHS and I would like write down the the lines so that I could do like tape myself, and I was sending out tapes to different like places for acting roles. I wanted to get a good monologue or something there, so I wanted to get like differences. I used to do that actually, a big geeky guy for that type of stuff back when I was doing acting. Uh, Definitely a good one. Good Morning by Uzo. I did not know that was going to be coming out on Blu-ray. I really want that. I think it's one of Uzo's best films. Uh, Ladies, hey Adrian. Um, Definitely. I mean, like, if you're a fan of Uzo, if you like his stuff, and I do, I think that Uzo's one of those guys that you don't realize you like until you actually kind of start watching him. Ride the Whirlwind, Shooter, Jack Nicholson, fantastic stuff. Um, if you like Terry Gilliam, then Fisher King, you know, late Rob Williams, great performance there. Um, Scanners, which was Logan's favorite. Well, Blood Simple with the Coen brothers, you know, great stuff. Throne of Blood is Kurosawa, but I'd hold off on Kurosawa a bit for this sale at least. I'm nervous that you know, I was talking to a guy last night, and he said, you know, he spoke to the manager at his local Barnes and Noble, and he was on a company call, and he said, you know, everything's going to be good. You know, the Criterion sale, all this stuff's not going away. But I have been with I've been with different companies that have gone under or got like reshifted, and unfortunately, I'm concerned because you know the manager, usually those guys are the last person to know when something big like that is coming. You think they wouldn't be, but they are actually one of the last people to know when stuff like that's coming down. So hopefully this isn't the last Criterion sale, but there is concern that it might be. Because if they want to focus totally on books, they can do that, and they could just take the media part out of it. And if you've noticed, like I'm not sure how it is over in your guys. You guys can let me know if you actually. I know Logan went to a Criterion one store, went to a Barnes and Noble store. Have you noticed, like, has the movie section, has the Criterion sections, has it gotten smaller, and in your local Barnes and Noble? Because that would be like a good indicator of something like that. A Brighter Summer Day with Edward Yang. I got it directed. I got to pick that up. And down the road, Quiet Anne again is a fantastic. Armageddon. I still can't believe Armageddon got a. I used to own that one actually, Criterion release. Not that it's, you know, it's an okay film. I mean, I don't think it's one of the most important films, because when you think Criterion, hey Sasha, you think, you know, the important movies. That's what they say, right? But no, I don't think anybody's like saying like, do you know what's a really important film? You know, like that's like putting Transformers on Criterion. Transformers, that that needs to be a Criterion release, because big robots are important. Um, Asphalt Jungle, amazing stuff. Straw Dogs, I was really surprised when they put that one out. A bit of a brutal film with Sam Peckinpah. Really like it. Um, See, when even unique films, Corey, I really don't think that that Armageddon fits in that, because not only is it not a unique film, it's a film that there was another film just like it put it that time. Actually, I dig The Rock a bit more. Actually, I'll get The Rock a bit more than I would with Armageddon. Um, The Great Dictator. When somebody asked me about Charlie Chaplin, and I didn't mention The Great Dictator. Oh my God, I apologize. But so much great stuff. I mean, guys, if you don't have Vampire yet, Carol Theodore Dreyer one, again, a fantastic release. It's really, really cool, like silent film. Definitely recommend. And in the almost silent films, Herc Harvey's Carnival of Souls is just a masterfully done nightmarish film. And as you guys know, I'm a huge fan of these surrealistic like horror films. That's, you know, that's kind of my that's my go-to. Phantasm, you know, being one of my favorite franchises of all time. Um, and Carnival, Malatista's Carnival of Blood, it's superb. John Cassavetes set, definitely. John Cassavetes, you know, gonna see a lot of great Gina Rowland like acting in the John Cassavetes stuff set, and that is a magnificent set to pick up. I mean, you can't go wrong with a lot of this stuff. Let's be honest. The Jacques Tati set is incredible. I don't have it. I got the old BFI set from Jacques Tati, and I really need to upgrade that one to the Criterion edition, because that was such a fun film. Even some of the newer picks, he picks some like nice stuff, like Election, which is I think is an underrated film that I really enjoyed. But Sex Lies Videotape is a Soderbergh film, probably one of my favorite Soderbergh films, to be honest with you. I This is probably going to be a bit telling, but I do kind of relate to James Spader in that film. That's probably way too horrible, but I do. He's an odd character, and I do consider myself an awkward little bunny. Charade, Stanley Donen. If you don't have that, I mean, definitely that is a fantastic little thriller, and like a lighthearted thriller too, kind of like in the like kind of the lighter, Man on the Run Hitchcockian type one. Like you can get the BBS set, dude, Jesse, and get it that way. But yeah, they're starting to put them out. Like I mean, Five Easy Piece got its own release. I think eventually they all will, actually. E2 Mama Tambien is actually with it's actually a pretty cool release. Actually, I really like that one. On the Waterfront, like again, beautiful release. I just like as far as the Bergman stuff, I do recommend like Eraserhead is fantastic, and it's got like some like his early films too, doesn't it? I do recommend you like just get the box set, like $149. Like save up, get the box set the Bergman box set during sale if you want to buy Bergman, rather than just like buying them separately, because you're going to get one or two Bergman. You're going to realize, okay, kind of like this. I want to dive a bit more into it. It's just a masterful set with the documentaries and all the stuff that's in there, and it's a set that it's a talking piece. I mean, it's like remember back in the day, you'd have a coffee table, you have like that cool like coffee table book with like whatever you're into, like there, and it was kind of like a talking. People would open up, they look at it type of thing. The Bergman set is like the coffee table of like of sets, the coffee table book of sets, and it actually includes the coffee table book. So there you go. Ghost World, again, I really enjoyed Ghost World. Lars von Trier is, I don't know. Fellini set. I actually expect a Fellini set, Logan. I think we're going to get some of that stuff. It would look great going next to my Herschel Gordon Lewis feast set. It does, actually. Actually, in one video, I actually kind of showed them both off. Now, the feast set's a lot lighter than the Bergman set. The Bergman set's heavy as hell, man. But the different size book, I guess. But it's weird. This is how weird. If you've just came to my channel for the first time, by the way, I am a guy that has the Criterion Bergman set and the Herschel Gordon Lewis feast set in my collection, because I like stuff. The range of stuff that I like is weirdly unique. Four by Agnes Varda. I like Agnes Varda stuff. The only Agnes Varda one I got actually isn't from Criterion. It's it's a smaller company. I can't remember the name. It was like a double feature that was put on this like, okay. Dude, if you can get it though, Logan, the documentary on Herschel Gordon Lewis alone, just that documentary, I recommend it. I think you'd like the documentary. It's really well done. And he's got a bit of a fascinating life there. But how can you not love you're a music guy, Logan. How can you not love the fantastic 2001 Maniacs song? Because, but yeah, no, the documentary is fantastic. You can find the documentary on its own, because I know if you're not a big fan, you're obviously not going to want to buy the box set. But like, keep a lookout for if Arrow or someone puts out the documentary and put it in on one of the releases. Because yeah, it's a really good documentary. It's kind of like in the Indicator set. Even you don't have to be the greatest William Castle fan. I am a big William Castle fan. But Indicator put out like this amazing documentary on William Castle within that set, which is just incredible. Hey, welcome back, Isaac. We're going back to Criterion, so you're coming back at a good time. Axon. I don't have Axon, which I really got to get. A fantastic one. I actually got a Kino release of like silent horror films, and it's got this amazing documentary on silent horror, which I strongly recommend checking out. I'm a documentary fan. I love documentary stuff. I don't have any of the Eclipse series stuff. I'm not quite sure on that, but I would like to get some of that stuff. On the Waterfront, I'm interested in, especially because we're the whole Red Scare part of it too, like the banning, the blackballing stuff. Well, he was originally supposed to be the director, but this young guy Polanski they put on there. But at least like Casso got the finally, and he got that respect after Rosemary's Baby, but it wouldn't last, unfortunately. Uh, you trust me, if you have not checked out the the documentary on William Castle, really check it out. Do I have the Criterion Boris Karloff set? There's a Criterion Boris Karloff set. Are you talking about Monsters and Madmen? Uh, the one like the DVD set? It's brilliant. If you're talking about the one with Han Strangler on it and First Men on the Moon, yeah, I do have that set. It's one of my favorites actually. I didn't know. Is it a print? Is it a print? Because honestly, get your hands on that one for a decent price. It's a beautiful set. Hold on, I'll bring it over. Stay there. Criterion has often been like slanted, or especially early on for the artwork on their cases, and a lot of their early cases didn't have like some of the greatest artwork, but this one did. This was an early one that had some great stuff. So this is the Monsters and Madmen set right here, and it is freaking brilliant. Like the movies, the weirdest movies go to print. I mean, like my better half bought me Chud from Arrow, like for during Christmas last year, and I'm like, oh, that's neat, because she knew I liked the movie Chud a lot. And she knew I wanted the Blu-ray of it. So actually, she surprised me with that one. And then I look online yesterday, and I'm like, Chud's out of print. I'm like, Chud's out of print? So this is a really cool release. I'm going to open it up and show you guys. The artwork is fantastic. So this is the Atomic Submarine. I love this art, by the way. It's kind of like a mod style artwork, which is really, really well done. And on the other side, you get the First Man into Space. And each of these, by the way, they're not on the same. They each have their own disc. And again, it gets a very cool looking booklet. Has some great pictures and articles. And these are really fun films too. You don't see Criterion do like a lot of these type of films, but when they do them, they masterfully do them. I'm not going to lie to you. But this is the big one. This is the one a lot of people love. When you said the Boris Karloff one, this is there's Quarters of Blood, and Karloff and Lee, and there is The Haunted Strangler, which is the movie that I actually originally bought this for. I'm a really big fan of The Haunted Strangler. I would love to see them. Like there is definitely competition when it comes out to that, and like with that being said, like this one too, like it wasn't just one booklet. Each one of these gets their own booklet too. So. Some incredible stuff. It is some of my favorite, Logan, to be honest, some of my favorite artwork that you ever put out. Well, I would rebuy it, but I would never get rid of this set because I don't think they'd do this artwork again. And it is incredible artwork. Sexy Monkey's got a video coming up with the June Blu-ray buys or picks, so make sure to check it out. By the way, guys, anytime that you're on here, if you got a new video up or something like that, feel free to mention it here, whether it's in the chat or you want to link it in the comment section down below. Feel free to do that. If it doesn't show up right away, or if I got to go, sometimes the comments go to review and I don't see them. But when I do see it, I will actually put it there. The Rashomon artwork is fantastic too, and I get a feel too of that. I mean, there's some of their artwork. I mean, like I said earlier, Blowout is one of my favorite pieces of art, which it's a picture, but it's a favorite covers that they've ever done. But they've gotten better. I mean, like Hopscotch, which is a really cool Walter Matthau film. If you haven't checked it out, Walter Matthau's severely underrated. People don't talk about him enough. He's such a good actor. See, I don't have a lot of Criterions right now, in my collection. I mean, I guess the Bergman set was the big one, and I did not know I was going to get that. But I would like to have picked some up for this sale. I'm worried this is going to be the last sale. I really am. But again, I still don't have Repulsion, which Polanski. I may not like the director as a person, but I actually like his films. My Darling Clementine, One Eye Jacks. I did not know One Eye Jacks was out. See, there's a lot of Criterions that kind of just bypass me, that I don't know. I've been keeping up on some other stuff because they sold Barnes and Noble. Logan, basically, Barnes and Noble was in financial trouble, and a hedge fund company, I think on the like 7th or 8th of last month type of thing, bought Barnes and Noble out. The same company that actually bought another book conglomerate in the UK actually last year. So Barnes and Noble for a while looks like it could have gone under. My concern is, like, I'm in Canada and we have we have a book chain here, much like Barnes and Noble, called Coles, called Chapters, type of thing. Oh, this is just my conjecture. There's no, nothing, like, there's no like signs that, yeah, that's going that way. But Chapters, like, for a while, like, they started to like bleed money a bit. So what happened was the revamped, the refocused. They realized that, like, the books and the book companies that were strongly into that were strongly, like, promoting these bookstores, that were going to be the focus. So what they did was they sold off all their physical media, and then the bookstore became more like book centric, and then eventually you'd see things like maybe some Funkos there, and you'd see like Kobos and Kindles, stuff like that, show up. The best sign for something like that, and this is what I'll tell you to do, because this is the way it happened in my stores. We had like this like big section of like movies, like on the wall type of thing, and then eventually it became a bin, and with some like front facing stuff. And you could see it was lessening, but you were kind of hoping it wasn't going. But eventually it just went. So just keep an eye on your Barnes and Noble. See if you see that type of thing happening. That's kind of like a good way to see it. And the Criterion sale thing has been, a big thing of YouTube. It's been a huge part of this of the film community, of the YouTube film community. Who doesn't love the Criterion sale hauls and the videos and all that type of stuff? It's been fantastic, and it's been one of the things that's defined a whole like era of of YouTubers. Like now, like there's other companies too. Like there's the Vinegar Syndrome, like the Halfway to Black Friday and Black Friday sales. There's the Scream Factory's like Summer of Fear sale, which isn't very good lately. And then there's the there's and of course like smaller companies like Severin and stuff have their sales as well. And of course there's the Arrow sale, which is now epic, and was amazing, well done. But Criterion, like, far and large, has always been like the big one. It's always been like it's always been like the defining thing. Vinyl Criterions. Vinyl, I see. I mean, like, vinyl does so well right now, and I think it's going to come around. I mean, like, I think it's going to be like a roundabout thing, but I think there may be some places that drop it more now and get it up, like, because I don't think that physical media is going anywhere. Like when I said, so I don't mean like physical media is going out. I just mean it might go from the bookstores if you want to like focus on the bookshops themselves. I gotta watch that video because I want to see, because I want somebody to sell me on that box set. I really do. Cat People's out, which I don't have. I love Jock Trudeau. Sid and Nancy, again, another Alex Cox one that is like super good. And if you haven't not checked out, guys, so either His Girl Friday, Bicycle Thieves, of course, classic, or the Martin Scorsese World Cinema series collection. Those are really, really good. No, dude, then your song is like becomes like a classic, right? Because it's like it's the remnants of a bygone era. So right now, your song is like it's the thing. It's known for the Criterion sale. You've got something that's known on basically on a channel. You are known for that, right? it becomes nostalgia. It becomes like that piece that goes on. So it becomes even more valuable as a remnant of a bygone era or something that was. But that being said, with 94-minute long video and my voice absolutely going, this is my first morning video that I've made in a while. If you guys have enjoyed the morning videos and would like to see more of these, please let me know. I will work on doing more of this stuff, and we'll talk more. I'm gonna throughout this month I will be diving into, and I'll be recommending certain criterions, talking into. Perfect, excellent, thank you, Ryan. And I'll be talking more about Criterion stuff here in the especially for this month. So that being said, oh, Devin Graham, thank you. Welcome, Devin, by the way. And also, first person that let me know that I had the 2,000 subscribers is Devin Graham right there. For all you guys that haven't checked it out, Sasha Sexy Monkey has a great video coming up really soon. Shifting voices. Logan Toxic did an awesome Criterion haul that I really enjoyed, and he got to talk about two films that he really liked that ironically shared a couple actors. So I won't go any further into that. And when I did talk about the films on here, I said I'm not going to talk about them anymore because Logan talked about them on his channel, and go check that out. Anybody on here that has something that they want to talk about, Culture Trini, welcome. Then definitely, let people know about whether you got a channel or you got like a website or a podcast that you do. Hopefully, like I'll be on Just the Disc sometime in the future. Brian has been extremely busy. He just actually, I got to congratulate Brian and Elric Kane because as you guys know, I guest on Just to This podcast a couple times, and I hopefully will again when we're not so busy. I usually am their Vinegar Syndrome guy. They actually had Quentin Tarantino on their Pure Cinema disc. So on the Pure Cinema podcast, which you got to check out. It's Entertainment Weekly actually mentioned it. Is there an actual Criterion song though? Yeah, the Criterion song is for me the Logan Toxic Criterion song, and for my kids and for my better half. We all know it off by heart. With that being said, guys, thank you so much. I am Aaron. You guys are the Movie Club. You guys are awesome. You guys rock. This would not be able to be without you, because I'd just be some crazy guy talking in a mirror. Have a great evening, and I will see you soon. Go buy some good Criterions.